Alright, quick update on Gala games. So, if we come down to the lower time frames, what we talked about yesterday was the trend being your friend until the end and how we shouldn't FOMO in even though we are at these lower price targets until we do manage to get above your 4-hourly EMAs. Now, depending on where you want to consider the most recent macro downtrend coming from, in my opinion, you come over to the daily time frame. I do consider this to be at least a somewhat macro impulse, and this to be a midterm impulse, so I'd consider the most recent downtrend to have started from the highs up here at 30 cent for Gala. And if we come over to the 4-hourly time frame, you can see basically as soon as we shifted bearish on the 4-hourly time frame, we knew that we were going to be in a downtrend. And as of the time of the inception of these 4-hourly EMAs on the 5th of April, the trend has been perfectly defined, the downtrend rather has been perfectly defined by these 4-hourly EMAs. Every time we try and come into it, the 4-hourly EMA comes down to a lower price target, you come into it and you get rejected every single time, which is why we were saying the trend is your friend until the end. We shouldn't look to be entering Gala until we have a breakout. At least that's my opinion. That's how I trade as a trader. If I see a very clear downtrend going on over a prolonged period of time, I don't try and assume I know where the absolute bottom is, because most of the people who are watching this video, you will not be able to pick the exact bottom. I'm telling you, I've been in crypto for years. If you're picking the exact bottom, you've probably got lucky. You cannot know where the exact bottom is. Most of the time these bottoms come out of absolutely nowhere, then you see a reversal signal, and that's when you know when to enter the market. We haven't seen any signs of a reversal signal at the time of recording. Now, depending on how you want to draw this, I think we'd be below, I mean, no matter what, you're below your 786 Fibonacci, and we've at this point had weekly closes below the 786. So yeah, really this whole uptrend has been invalidated, unfortunately. So all we can really do is look at the lower time frames and try and find a region where it looks like we could be putting in a bottoming signal. Now, my favorite bottoming signal is the inverse head and shoulders. I think this plays out to be a bottoming signal more than most other bottoming signals. Now, a lot of people like V-shaped recoveries. Some people bank on W reversals. I think the inverse head and shoulders have the best likelihood of re-breaking back out to the upside. As of now, there is nothing like that we're seeing. You can see an influx of volume has come in since we recently came up to your 4-hourly EMA ribbons, and once again, you've got a rejection. So the hourly EMAs, you can really see, I mean, we're trying to flip these. I would not put too much weight on the hourly EMAs. For example, you can see during a chop sideways consolidation pattern, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fake outs just in the last accumulation range. So I'm not going to be looking at the 1 hour at all. In my opinion, it is the 4 hour that needs to break. Now, to wrap up this video, because like I said, other than this bearish retest of the 4-hourly EMAs, not a lot has changed. Now, there is some regions where I do think that Gala absolutely needs to hold. At worst, I do not think we should be pushing back below 12 cent, but in my opinion, we should really hold these daily closes, because you move below this, you've got literally nothing until you come down to the previous accumulation range at 7.5 cent. You lose that, you've only got like 3 and 4 cent down here. So Gala is really on its last legs. And don't get me wrong, I'm not being bearish, I'm not a perma bear on Gala. I'm just looking at the trend in the short term, and I can acknowledge that, since 30 cent, this whole downtrend has been perfectly characterized by the 4-hourly EMAs, and I'd much rather buy a breakout after we pop above 15 cent, get above these 4-hourly EMAs, than blindly DCA and assume that I know that this is the bottom, because no one knows if this is going to be the bottom. One final thing, the Fed meeting is coming in between the 4th, or the 3rd and the 4th, so we should have a wrap up within the next 24, at most latest, the next 48 hours. So I think confidence is going to return into the markets after the Fed meeting. In my opinion, confidence exited the markets during this most recent week coming into the Fed meeting. So after the Federal Reserve meeting is done, I think we will be getting out of here. However, like I said, this box absolutely needs to hold for Gala games. If we break below this green box, then You know, like I say in some of my altcoin videos, there are going to be some altcoins that do make it out of this Federal Reserve meeting. There are going to be some that don't make it. So, you know, as far as I can tell, until we do get above these 4-hourly EMAs, I would not bank on Gala making it. I will be keeping my eyes on it with a very keen area of interest. It looks like we came down and hit our price target from quite some time ago, but nonetheless, we're moving down. We've got a rejection from the 4-hourly EMAs. If we break out from the 4-hourly EMAs, you'd literally only be missing not even a 10% increase, and then you could buy the breakout, being much more solidly, a lot more convinced solidly that you are buying the bottom, or you are at least buying the breakout from the bottom. So, you know, looking at your oscillators, these are completely beat down. The money flow indicator and the relative strength, pretty much all the money and the strength has flown out of this market. I really do think we are near this bottom. We do need to have a reversal ASAP though, because if we don't, we'll be right back in this previous accumulation range. And then, you know, even if we make it out, it's not a good sign to have a bull rally and then return back to your previous accumulation range. When you look at bullish cryptos like Bitcoin, for example, you can see Bitcoin has these blow off tops. You know, you can see blow off top here, you've got an accumulation range, that's fine, and then, you know, you've got the next blow off top, and we're accumulating now, but we're accumulating above the previous blow off top. And it's the same with here, that, you know, we had a blow off top somewhere around about this region, and then we accumulated. Even after this accumulation phase, this was higher than this one. So you do not want to see a throwback to the previous accumulation range. That is just my opinion. So keep your eyes on 12 cent. Absolutely needs to hold, otherwise, in my opinion, could get very, very ugly. That's all I've got for Gala Games. As always, none of this is financial advice, just my opinion on the market, and as always, cowboy out. Peace.